Hello everyone and welcome back to Live with Brink of Speed. Tonight I wanted to just go live for, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 minutes and discuss the Z06 pricing with you guys. I put out a video earlier, however, it's been a hectic day. My phone is blown up like crazy and I haven't been able to even respond to any of the comments. Plus I had to make a 4-hour, almost 4.5-hour drive down to Austin, Texas for the big, huge Corvette Invasion meetup. And so I just wanted to get on here and discuss some things with you guys and have you guys be able to ask me pretty much anything you want to ask me. Let me pull it up here on my laptop just so that I can make sure everything's working fine. If you guys can, leave me comments letting me know that you guys can hear me. Lucas is on, in our demon. Of course, Darren is on. What's up, guys? So you guys can hear me just fine, it seems like. Let me just pull this up and make sure you guys can see me just fine. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn my camera around. Okay, that is better. Now you're not looking at a white wall. Let's see. Let me wait for the delay to go away. And so yeah, ask me anything, guys. I just want to, let me pull this forward so that I'm all caught up. Okay, there we go. I want to discuss this. I've talked to quite a few people on the phone and it sounds like they're definitely changing their orders. I haven't talked to anybody yet that is saying, you know what, I'm not buying a Z06 now. It's way more expensive than I thought it was going to be. So that definitely is not the case. You know what? I don't know if I have live chat. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, there's the chats. Thanks, man. I wore this to the meet and greet tonight down here in Bastrop. And yeah, this is compliments of Darren, this beautiful 70th anniversary shirt. What's up, John? You're leaving at 6 a.m. tomorrow to come down here. Awesome. Well, I will see you then. And Macketh says, I can hear you perfect. That's good news. Let's see. Z is higher than expected for most. Yes. You know, just like I said in my video, it's 13,000 higher than I expected it to be. I really thought that even 93,000 was going to be kind of crazy high. You know, people were thinking it was going to be in the 80s. I did make a mistake on my video today. I realized it as I was driving down here. I said that the delta between a base Stingray and the new Z06 was 50,000. I don't know where I got that number from. Obviously, it's 40,000, a little over 40,000. Let's see. Hello, all. Dillip, Michael Reichstein. It's very expensive when you add all the options. Yes, you are correct. What's up, Scott White? What's up, Vet Sweetness? I like that. Mark White. I'm in Houston, Texas. Who can replace my windshield on my C7? I don't know. I don't live in Houston. Larry Jones. Hey, hey, you should know transmission issues are real. My 2023 transmission went out at 509 miles. Wow. Yes, they were. I'm really sorry to hear that. Scott says, I wonder how much the price would push potential buyers back to a Stingray. That's actually a really good question, Scott. I want to know that from the audience. I want to know what you guys think, or maybe some of you are on here would be able to tell me if this price has pushed you back into a Stingray. Now, we all know that there's a lot of dealerships out there that were selling the Stingray for well over MSRP, and these are brand new dealerships, and people are still out there buying them. But I think when you look at the statistics, the average Stingray was like 81,000 or something like that. So still, 81,000 all the way to 106. What is that? $25,000 difference? That's a big jump. So if somebody couldn't afford a $25,000 markup on their $80,000 Stingray, then they're obviously going to have a tough time affording a base model Z06 and then adding any options from there. John says he was thinking between 96 and 99. Yeah, I mean, that would have been a, $10,000 to $9,000 difference. But instead, we're looking at 106 plus. What's up, Mark? What's up, Carrie? What's up, Phil? Let's see. Darren says, I agree. More will stick with the Stingray. Yep, I think that's probably going to happen. But you got to realize that the Z06 is a different animal when it comes to the Corvette. Most people that buy the Z06 can easily afford a Stingray, and they actually choose to wait on the Z06 and not even buy the Stingray. Now, I don't know if that happened with the C8, because the C8 was a totally different animal than the C7. And so I think there may have been quite a few people in the camp of, I want a Z06, but this C8 is so cool, I'm going to go ahead and get that while I'm waiting on the Z06. Let's see, Michael says, question is wait for the E-Ray. That's actually a really good question, but now we got to wonder what the cost of the E-Ray is going to be, because we all thought the Z06 was going to be 80s to 90s. Now it's 106. The E-Ray we were thinking was going to be, maybe mid 80s. Now are we talking mid 90s or even maybe high 90s? I don't know. You guys let me know. Let's see. Bill Dorsey says, what do you think it is so much more expensive than we thought it would be? Great question. I had some inside information on that today, and you guys aren't going to like this answer, but what I've been told is that the dealerships, because they have been charging 20 to 30K over MSRP for the last, 2.5 years on the C8, that GM decided that they were going to go ahead and capitalize on that with the Z06. They know what they have. They know this car is absolutely incredible. And yeah, they just decided they're going to make more money off of it. Let's see. Darren says, many will decide the Stingray is still a great value and awesome car. Most are just fine with 495 horsepower. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm fine with 495 horsepower. If I didn't have this YouTube channel, I actually would not be going for the Z06. I would be going for, I would just stick with what I have. I absolutely love the Stingray and its power. Kerry says, will be interesting to see and hear the performance of a Z06 to the base C8. I mean, the Z06 is going to have a little bit faster 0 to 60 time, but the quarter mile time should be a lot faster. And then the handling is going to be night and day. I mean, you're not even going to be able to compare the two on a track. It is going to blow the Stingray out of the water and handling in every way. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. By the way, thank you to my thumbs up squad. I haven't even checked, but I know you guys have smashed that thumbs up button. So thank you so much. And if you haven't smashed it yet, please do so. Like I always say, this helps YouTube know that you're enjoying this content and just helps them push it out all over YouTube and recommend it to those out there. Frank White says, Porsche prices. Yes and no. What this car is competing with on the Porsche level, it is not in the Porsche prices, because this car is competing with the GT cars. And those cars are, $180,000 to $200,000. And we're just now breaking $100,000. If you're talking about a $100,000 Porsche, this car is going to walk all over it. In fact, my car walks all over a $100,000 Porsche. So it's definitely not competing with those. Hey, Lucas, I'm doing great. How are you? Glad you joined. Lucas is my nephew. Let's see. Arslan says, still want one, but got to wait a year to afford one. I understand. Hopefully by then they'll be easier to get. 107 base for something that, if built by Italians, would cost $275,000 to $300,000. Yeah, it's a bargain. I totally agree, Arslan. L.A. Thorn. Totally agree with you. I was just talking with a buddy on the phone tonight, stating that I thought the C8 was worth, $120,000, $130,000 bucks. The Z06 is definitely worth a couple $100,000, but we're getting it for a bargain. Dillup says loaded all the way would cost upwards of $165. I think they did a fully loaded one and it was $158 without tax. So you're close for sure. KT Garage, to be honest, the price is what I was expecting. I'm good for it. Yep, I think there's going to be a lot of people in that camp and they're going to be okay with the price. Michael says, agree, most will track their cars. I wouldn't say most will track them. Even a lot of Z07 owners aren't going to track their car, but I think a good amount of people are going to track the new Z06. Let's see what John says. My 2021 is my third vet. I've never owned a Z06. I am 57 and I'm not getting any younger, and my number in line at McMulcum is 4 years out. Yeah, I mean, you're still a young buck. 57 is not old. You're going to be 61 by the time that comes due. If it's still something you want by then, I would probably go ahead and still get it. You're going to have a blast. It's going to be something that's controllable. It's not going to be out of control like, you know, a lot of these cars can be. The C7 Z06 can definitely get away from you, but I know the C8 Z06 is probably not going to be that way. Let's see. The name that I can never pronounce correctly, thank you for joining. It says, not true. The Z06 is a different tax bracket. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, but it definitely is higher priced than we were expecting. Okay, lots of comments coming in. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I didn't know how many would join. It's kind of late, but I wanted to get this out. Obviously, you see I'm in my hotel room. We've got Bruno in the house with all the delays, waiting for pricing. Now the larger base price, I'll have to rethink the purchase or tell my twin girls it'll be community college instead. I hear you, man. Inflation, New Horizon. Hey, what's up? New Horizon is in the house. Check out his YouTube channel. Actually, I need to go watch your latest video. I saw you sent it to me, but as you heard in the beginning, I've been super swamped today. Says, yeah, the over 100K is going to push a good chunk out of affording the Z06. Not even talking markups, which is going to be, I'm sorry, something jumped up. Super chat jumped up, so it dropped this down. Substantial. It did surprise me. I was expecting 93 to 95. Yeah, same here. Let's see. Who's the super chat from? Oh, thanks, Darren. Appreciate the super chat. Let's see. Let's get that out of the way. Go back. KT Garage. I'm going to go with the Z07, but might settle with 1LZ. So I'm about to do a video on that. Settling for 1LZ is settling for bottom of the barrel, just so you know. You're missing out on a lot of options, a lot of really cool options, including heated and cooled seats, blind spot protection, the backup radar, your rear view. Actually, I think the rear view camera mirror and the Z06 is included in 1LZ, but your front cameras, your PDR, you're missing out on a lot of things with 1LZ, so think about that. Paso Fino Live, what a bunch of crybabies. There's no wonder we will never be considered in the same category as Ferraris or Lambos. I don't see any cry on the live tonight, so I don't, even though it's way more expensive than we thought it was going to be, we're getting a bargain. LA Thorne says, I'm curious as to why GM Chevy is launching the Z06 when they have difficulty getting supplies for something as mundane as the Trailblazer. That's a good question, but I think this is a more important car to them. In fact, I know it is, and I know they've been saving up supplies just for this car. They're going to make a lot of money off the Z06, and this is their baby. So I think they'd rather see problems with an SUV than with, especially the Trailblazer, than with something like this that's a six-figure car. I need a drink, guys. Let's see. Phil says, what is your choice for roof? Well, I really want the carbon fiber roof. I really wanted actually a HTC, but this has kind of changed my mind. I don't think I'm going with HTC. I think I'm going to go with a hardtop and just go, you know, stick with the coupe. All right, New Horizon. Yeah, GM making a significant markup for profit makes sense for them. Just as a company decision. They know They have a top winner and it makes business sense. That's right. It's just evolving. You know, the company is evolving, the car is evolving. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it does make sense. Howard says, are you still getting a Z06? As far as I know, yes. We'll see what happens. Bill Dorsey, dang, that sucks for us. But thank you for sharing. And yes, you're very welcome, Bill. It does, you know, it does sting a little bit that it's higher price. The pricing of the Z06 is not changing my mind at all as far as what I'm getting. It has changed some of the options that I'm going to put on the car, but it hasn't changed what I want to get. What's up, Jay? Jay says, what's up, Mike? JB here from Huntsville, Alabama, the Rocket City. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Let's see. I think I just skipped again. Where is my comment here? Sorry, guys. I lost track of where I'm at on the comments. It's a bargain track car. Oh, here we go. Boza Nova. I bet a lot of people are not going to afford this C8 Z06. Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that can't, but will they sell this car out? Absolutely. There's not a question in my mind that every single model will be sold just like that. Aaron Anderson says, yes, since we saw the price, I'm going to stick with the C8. I have an order for at $90K. I probably would have went for a 1LZ instead of a 2LT C8. All right, well, there's one person right there that's sticking with the normal C8. And thank you for letting us know that, Aaron. Michael says, yes, the dealers will be marking them up. That is why the car is now so much more expensive. Yeah, I mean, we still have our dealers out there that are MSRP only. Thank God for those. But yes, there are a lot of dealers out there that are not and are marking this thing up huge. Let's see. Benzoil says, it's a bargain for a track car. You are correct. Jeff says, stupid to spend this much money on a car. Well, that's your opinion. I don't agree with that. There's a lot of people out there that don't agree with that, but that's okay. It's fine. That's the way that you feel about it. You know, if you don't want the car, don't buy it, but this is just what it is. Everything is more expensive these days, and GM is no exception. So we're having to buy this car for a lot more. Is the 1LZ model be able to get Z07 option? Yeah, you can always get Z07 in 1LZ. But again, you're losing a lot of amazing things in the car by going 1LZ. Let's see, Blue Eye Devil, do you think dealers will now charge over? Yes, they're going to continue to charge over MSRP. This is not going to change that at all, unfortunately. I wonder how this will affect the used Stingray market. Prices are starting to drop, but this may impact that as well. So that's actually a really good question, Scott. I actually stated quite a while ago that I thought that a higher price on the Z06 would actually help the Stingray market, because people are going to say, you know what, I can't afford this Z06, or they're not going to be able to get one anyway. So they're going to go for the C8, which is going to put more strain on the C8 market. Supply and demand. There's not enough supply and there's way more demand. So that's going to make all of our values go back up. I don't see the C8 value going down anytime soon. Chip says C7 Z06 should go up in value. They will. They'll continue to stay probably solid or maybe go up. Let's see. Dang, this thing keeps doing that. RPOP, I really hope when the performance numbers come out, they match the price. Nobody expected this price. I would be willing to bet a lot of money they will. What's up, Doug? Hey, Mike, didn't know you were going live tonight. Well, a lot of people didn't know. I wanted to do this after I made my video earlier today. I wanted to go live because I knew today was going to be hectic and I knew I wasn't going to be able to get to most of the comments or any of them. I actually haven't been able to get to any of them because I've been driving for 4.5 hours. I had to work before that. And so once I got down here, I had to go to a meet and greet at this huge Corvette Invasion show that I'm at. I'm getting you guys some great footage of that. Tomorrow's an amazing car show. But that's why I haven't gotten to any of the comments yet. Benzoyl Alcohol says 120,000 cars are for a different tax bracket buyer than a Stingray. Yeah, you are correct. Darren says, agree. If you are buying this car, make sure you do it right. 2LZ at minimum. Yes, you definitely want to get the 2LZ. Streaming is breaking up. That doesn't surprise me. This hotel has horrible Wi-Fi and my phone service is very bad. So I'm just grateful that it's actually working at all. Let me go back up and just make sure I can see myself up here. Okay, good. Still able to see myself. It's always important. All right, let's go ahead and get to the next comments here. I knew it would be over 100K. This is Paso Fino. Since the C8 HTC was 93K MSRP. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really believed we were going to be in the 90s, but you know what? It is what it is. New Horizon C8 says, glad to see you live. You definitely let me know what you think of of the how-to video, hoping to set a good standard for how-tos for the C8 community. Oh, I'm sure you have, man. I don't doubt it one little bit. I can't wait to watch it, and I will definitely be commenting on that. Frank White, Speed Phenom is spending 170K. Okay. I guess you can. Maybe if you just throw everything at it, it's going to be 170K. That's fine. I can't wait to see his build. I love Speed Phenom's videos. So, and he's going to get an early Z06. So I'm sure we're going to have some really sweet content from him right off the bat. GM is launching a 350K EV next week. GM is not a cheap car company anymore. Wow, I never heard that. Thanks for letting us know. I'll look out for that. That thing better be sweet for 350K. Darren says, better for GM bottom line. Yes, definitely. The third option, the top of the line Escalade is over 150,000 now. GM is raising prices on things that are hot. I know, my brother-in-law works for Cadillac and those things are expensive. Waylon says, give me a Stingray, still a great car for the dollar. I totally agree with you, Waylon. Speed Freak 93, you feel the C6 Z06 market will remain in the 40K price range or drop again? You know what? I think it's going to remain in the 40K price range for quite a while until we have a handle on the C8 market and the C8 Z06 market. Until those things are readily available, C6 and up are going to remain high. John Somerville, if they come out with a pace car like the Indy ones, I'm not sure what you mean there, John. If you can retype that, let me know. Eric says, when do you think the Configurator will be live with all the options and prices? Actually, that's a very good question. I think we're going to be a little while away from build and price, but the configurator is already live. You can go on there, configure your car. You just don't get pricing on that. If you remember with the C8, they always wait like 3 to 4 weeks after you're able to order the car before you're actually able to get on and build and price one, which is really annoying. Hopefully they won't do that with the Z06, but that's what they've been doing with the C8. All right, let's get back to all your questions. Thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys have the best questions here, and it's really fun to answer them for you. Is Chevy dealer service fit for a $160,000 car? Yes, these guys are all trained. They have to go to special training for each of these C8s, and especially the Z06. They're going to have to go to special training for that as well because it's a brand new engine. Let's see. Indy cars this year, how much? Indy cars, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Newts4 says the price and then markups have separated the men from the boys. I am 4 months away from my C8 and I'm sure the line for Stingrays just got longer. You are correct. The line for Stingrays did just get longer. It's incredible what this is going to do to people wanting the Stingray. And I actually predicted this before not based off of price, but based off of people were going to get a rude awakening when they went to order a Z06 and their dealership said, no, you're 2 years out, you're 3 years out, you're 4 years out. All of a sudden they're going to go, okay, I'll settle for the regular base model C8. That makes the line get longer very quickly. If I could afford one, the Z06, I'd spec it roughly $150K. I understand. 2LZ or 3LZ, what's the difference? 3LZ has nicer leather all over. It has a suede material on the B pillars, the A pillars, and the roof. And it allows you to get the stage 2 carbon fiber in your car. Plus it comes with GT2 seats automatically. Scott White, good point, LA Thorn. All right. Let's see. Let's get to some more people's comments. I think I'm almost caught up, actually. Third option. I just got my 2023 HTC Stingray last Friday and love it. Congratulations. I don't doubt that one little bit. I haven't met a single person who's gotten their C8 and did not absolutely fall in love with it. Doug says, I think Stingray prices will hold strong due to decreased production with Z06 ramping up and many who will now settle for the Stingrays after seeing Z06 pricing. I totally agree, Doug. 100%. Let's see. Where's my mouse at? I can't find my freaking mouse. Okay, there we go. The quality is fine for me. Stream is sharp and clear. Good. Thanks, Mark, for letting me know that. Let's see. Who else do we have on here? Tony. Welcome, Tony. C7s will be very expensive too. Maybe. Davius King. I just hope the quality is there with the price. This is new territory for GM with this flat plane crank. I think they've tested it for so long. I don't think we're going to have any issues. At least let's cross our fingers and hope that we don't. Darren says C6 Z06 might be the best value cars on the market right now. Some really nice low mileage cars out there in the 40s. You are right, but also you got to remember that I paid $40,000 for mine in December of 2016. So, I mean, and at that point, if you were buying a low mileage C6 Z06, they were $42,000 to $45,000. And you could even find them for over $50,000. So, I mean, for them to be back in the 40s, yeah, that's pushing it, but they're worth it, no doubt about it. It's a phenomenal car. John says, how much do you think an Indy pace car replica will cost? Okay, now I understand. The Indy Z06, I don't know, man. They might add like 10 grand to that or 7,500 like the 70th anniversary, something like that. Chris says, good day from Melbourne, Australia. Awesome. Good day, mate. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Doug says, would love to see Corvette be separate branch of GM to separate itself and establish as a high-end sports car. I agree. I think that would be something worth doing, and it would also probably stop the dealerships from being able to charge over MSRP, and that would be a good thing. Hey, Larry Anthony, how are you? Let's see, he says, I'm guessing, but I think this announcement will cause about 20% of people waiting to hear prices to blink and pull back from thoughts of owning a new Z06. You know what, Larry? You're probably pretty spot on there. I mean, it's going to be a large amount of people that decide they don't want to spend the extra, 20 grand. Most people were thinking this Z06 was going to be in the mid 80s. So for it to be 106, there's going to be a lot of pullback. Z06 will cost $400,000. Oh my gosh. Chris says the Z06 will be $400,000 in Australia. Man, how does that work? Scott says, Mike, will you get the carbon fiber wheels now that we know the price? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm leaning more towards not getting the carbon fiber wheels because I don't want to have to worry about those wheels. And I'm going to have some sponsorships with wheel companies that are going to look so much better than those carbon fiber wheels. So I think the answer is no. I think I'm going to go ahead and just spec it out without them and then get some really sweet wheels to go on it after. Tweety Bird, what's up? I think the C8 Stingray will hold its value longer and higher because of the out-the-door price of the Z06. I agree. Louise says, what's your opinion on the E-Ray now that the Z06 prices are out? Well, like I said in my video earlier, I think the E-Ray, at first I was thinking it would be mid-80s, but now that this has come out, we're probably looking at mid-90s for the E-Ray. It's definitely going to be lower priced than the Z06. How much? Probably 10 grand, but I could be wrong. Darren says, most of us at our age have never experienced inflation in our adult years. We have been spoiled for many years with historically low interest rates. Unfortunately, this is going to continue. You are correct. Yeah, I mean, I'm 42 years old. We haven't had this type of inflation, I don't think, the whole time I've been alive. I think back in the 70s, there was some crazy inflation. But since I've been alive, we haven't had this until now. Stupid Fast Truck, thumbs up, everyone. Yes, thank you. If you're just joining in, please smash that thumbs up button and start joining in with your questions. Welcome, welcome, welcome. William Diaz says, you think the dead C7 Grand, I don't know why he said dead, C7 Grand Sport will go up in price? That's what I have right now at 2017 and 12,000 miles. I think all C7s are going to remain or maybe go up a little. They're not coming down in price, in my opinion, anytime soon. Eric says, what are the main differences between 2 and 3? I explained that earlier. Basically, it's the leather throughout the interior, the suede on the B pillars, the A pillars, the roof, a little bit on your dash, the ability to get the Stage 2 carbon fiber package, and you get the GT2 seats automatically with 3LZ. Zachman says, what is the lowest price Z06 you can get, and what would be the highest price Z06? Because I didn't catch, what the price range was. So the lowest is a 1LZ coupe, for 106 and some change. And then the highest is a 3LZ convertible, and I believe that was in the 130 range. If I'm not correct on that, let me know, but I think it was exactly 130. Darren says, we're all starting to sound like our grandparents. Remember when soda was 5 cents? Let's see, how much was soda when I was a kid? I'll tell you what I do remember when I was a kid is we lived right across the street from a 76 station in Romeo, Michigan. And gas at that time was 75 cents. Look at where we're at now. And that was, I can remember probably when I was about 6 years old, maybe 5 years old. That was 1985. Let's see. Crux says I'm 70. Sweet. What dealership? Kevin Sampson says, do you think Dodge EVs are going to flop? No, I do not. If you watch my friend Racer X, you'll see he's put out quite a bit of information about those new EVs, and they sound pretty sweet. Dodge, no company out there is going to flop with their cars. No company out there is going to flop with their EVs. They've taken way too long to build up this technology and learn from Tesla and other EV companies out there. And no, I think it's going to be a sweet car, actually. Next Z-Ray, then ZR1. Yeah. Those are going to be popular cars. They're going to be expensive. The ZR1, I mean, now I can see that car starting, probably 140, 150. GM Kingfish says, I was supposed to sell my C8R tomorrow. Now I might wait and watch the market. Good choice. Z06 versus Porsche GT3 variants. People, it is worth it. I agree. If you don't think this new C8 Z06 is going to compete with the Porsche GT cars, I think you got another thing coming. It's definitely going to happen. 127, 246 for the 3LZ HTC. Okay, thanks, Darren. I thought it was somewhere close to 130, but that's definitely up there. The max price for the convertible model, and this is Mr. Media 636, with the 3LZ trim package, Z07, visible carbon fiber aero, and visible carbon fiber wheels, will start at 158,730. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Chris says, unfortunately, GM aren't exporting enough C8 to Australia. They're still selling for $300,000 for a 3LT. Good golly. They're just under 50,000 Australians on the waiting list who have put their deposit down. Man. Chris, thank you for this information. That is insane. I hope you guys make way more money than we do here in the States. Let's see. Darren says, for me, biggest surprise was Z07 package, nearly 20K. Yes, I agree. I mean, you have to add that aero to it. That's big. Reminds me of 5th gen Viper pricing. Hate to say it, but give it a few years. Yeah. Wow. Wow, guys, we have over 200 people in here watching. Thank you guys for all the thumbs up. I love this. You guys have, given me these amazing comments. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I think I've been on for, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes or so. If you guys want to keep going, leave it in the comments that you want me to keep going here. If not, we can wrap things up. You guys have asked a lot of great questions. Let's see. Dab says, still a good deal compared to a Huracan or an R8. You're right. I mean, an R8 is going to cost you, what, 170, 180? And a Huracan is going to cost you 230, 250. So, yeah. BJT, will Corvette branch off on its own brand or to its own brand? You know what? There's been talk of that for a few years now. It would not surprise me if they did in the future, but who knows? Nestiness, is there any chance of a Grand Sport? No, I think the Grand Sport has been phased out for the C8, and that's what the E-Ray is taking place, or it's taking its place. New Horizon says, that's interesting. If the E-Ray ends up being cheaper than the Z06, originally thought it would be the other way around, more because of the rarity and such. No, I think they'll make more E-Rays than they will Z06s. If you look at the Grand Sport, I believe that they make more Grand Sports than they do Z06s, and it is replacing the Grand Sport, so I believe it would be less rare than the Z06. And because it's replacing the Grand Sport, I believe it would cost less than the Z06. Scott White, got to drop off. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, Scott. Kevin Sampson says, yeah, but with the hate EVs get, you think people are going to hate Dodge EVs. Remember, there's no V8 sound. Well, here's the thing. People do hate EVs, but there's also people that love them. I myself don't love them, but I'm infatuated with them. And as far as the sound goes, yeah, I hate it that they're quiet. But rumor has it that Dodge is making them have sound. So whether it's fake sound or real sound, if it sounds real, you know what? Cool. If you don't like it, I'm sure there's going to be a button on there you can press and you'll have no sound. Stupid Fast Truck says, I have a C5 Z06. Even a 1LZ's interior will be ultra plush compared to it. Yeah, you are correct. You are 100% correct. But with the technology today, people want all of that stuff that I named, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, they want the cameras, they want the blind spot protection, they want all that stuff. Is the new Huracan engine for, is the new Hurricane engine for Dodge true? I saw a video about it. I believe it is. I think that engine is going to have like 900 horsepower. Go to Racer X on YouTube. He did a video about it and he talks about the horsepower, I believe. It's not a Elephant engine, but I think it's still going to be pretty close to 900 horsepower. Darren says maybe GM will try. Maybe GM will try. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, but maybe you've put it down here. I will wait until to see how the flat plane engine behaves on the street. Yep. I think it's going to be fine. It's mimicking the 458 from Ferrari, and they've had zero issues with that car. So I think it'll be fine. Maybe GM will try to get consumers to consider EV variants with better pricing and set up the transmission for full EV. Maybe GM will try to get consumers to consider EV variants with better price. Yeah, I mean, they need to, because right now it's so expensive to buy any electric car. Even the Leaf is expensive. So GM needs to figure out how to produce these things for the masses and not charge an arm and a leg for them. Simple as that. Carrie says, small dealerships in my area get few allocations for C8s, maybe 1 to 2 a year. Doubtful they will get a Z06 allocation. If one gets a Z06 qualified and good service may be the problem. Yeah, I read that kind of fast. If one gets a Z06, qualified and good service may be a problem there. So that could be a problem. I know there were rural dealerships that turned down the C8 just because they didn't have mechanics that could work on them, but that's probably few and far between. Hurricane is a turbo straight 6. Okay. That I did not know. I guess I didn't listen well enough in the video. Got a drop. Thanks, John. Thanks for joining. He says, thanks, have a great, safe weekend in Austin, Bastrop. I definitely will. Thank you so much. Logic's finest. Reality is setting in for a lot of people. GM has to recoup the R&D budget, and the performance for this level costs $150,000 and up. Guys, who thought this car would cost $90 are all crazy. Well, call me crazy then, because I thought it was going to be $93K or less. So... and I do believe that if we wouldn't have had the last 2 years that we had, that they still would have sold it right around that price. Greg Peterson, I own a 2021 C8 and the price difference is outrageous. Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, New Horizon, see ya. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Again, thank you so much for joining. Looks like we got 183 on here. Thank you for smashing that thumbs up button. If you haven't done so, please do so. And if you're new to the channel, join us by smashing that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful evening, and we'll see you guys out on the road.